Wow. Sorry about that. Oh, man. I apologize. Do you guys... Is this better? Alright. I think I'm back on. Welcome back. Somebody said pay your internet bill. Sorry about that, guys. So let's dive right into our price predictions once again. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching this after it's published, this is a live stream, so feel free to use the 1.25x speed in the settings of this video below. We're going to be going over price predictions utilizing our trading view chart. Let's go ahead and get started. So looking at this chart once again, we are forming this falling wedge, as you can see here with XEM, and we kind of drew this out a little bit there beforehand, looking at that support level forming on that 50-day moving average. So let's go ahead and move on to our next coin here and take a look at Litecoin, LTC, BTC, and see what's happening here. You can see we're forming this pennant. If you guys are receiving our trading alerts, we're still within that pennant right now, and you can see we're starting to see these lower levels starting to form here in the bottom of the pennant. We're starting to find a little bit of support there. What's also interesting about this pennant is we do have some support in this blue Fibonacci line as well. So that's always a good thing here. Somebody says, or keep going at least. Let's go ahead and look at the chat really quick and see what's happening here. Who do we got online? Let's see what people are saying. Somebody said, we thought you flew to the moon. Somebody says, he's back now. Everyone's in trouble. LOL. Oh my gosh. Nobody's in trouble. This isn't a dictatorship. Somebody says, thanks, Big B. Welcome back. Good to have you guys. Mark DeCal in the house. Cornelius. Russell. TS Society. Somebody said, XLM, please. Did the cup complete? The right side of the cup didn't quite get up to the left side, but the handle seems to be forming. Trevor Lamb, good question. We'll pull up XLM in just a second. Robert Warner said Warner in the house. Chase, Kevin, Lyndon, and Taryn is here. We're going to be giving away a book as well tonight, so feel free to stay tuned for the book giveaway as well. Sorry about that internet loss connection there. I mean, I don't know what just happened there. Somebody says, please talk about Tether. Aaron Manning. I'm not too worried about Tether. It's, you know, it's still at the ranges that it typically flows between. I mean, you know, it's right at 98 cents. Obviously, it's not at $1, but I don't think this is a big deal. I mean, we've seen this happen multiple times with Tether. If you look at the 7-day, you can see it's always fluctuating back and forth on, look at that. Even January 24th, it was at 99 cents, but nobody really freaked out about it. But people are freaking about it today because it's been down for pretty long. But I don't think there's a big worry here, because you can see here as well in this market cap how it just kind of keeps continuing to rise. I think because we saw this parabolic run up in market cap, I think it's going to take a little bit of time for this price to start leveling out and get tethered back to the dollar. That's what I'm expecting, because we've seen this before. If you pull up like this 3-month chart, you can see, I mean, some of you that are new to the market, maybe you've never experienced this before, but let's pull up like a year to date. So you can see here, the same exact thing happened where they increased that market cap out of nowhere, but they had the prices stabled at a higher level. It was at like, if you can see here, the prices were like $1.02, and then when this market cap thing happened, they made sure the prices were a lot higher than $1. So this time they just didn't do that for some reason. So I think that's why we're seeing the prices lower than 98 cents. And it's the same thing if you do all. You can see here, there have been little periods of time, like right here, where this went down to 92 cents, but it always ends up tethering itself back to $1. So I'm not too worried about it. I mean, if it starts to go into like the 80-cent range, I would be extremely worried. But if it's still within 98 cents, I mean, I wouldn't be too worried about it. You know, and obviously with the news and stuff. Somebody says there's no fundamental analysis here. WRT tether. Yeah, there's not much technical analysis you can do there. Somebody says Sniper Stew is the livest crypto channel by far. Thank you, Russell. Appreciate that, man. Somebody says I'm offline again. The dollar's weight is down today. Ace King said the dollar is down today. Maybe it's because the dollar's down, right? That would be an interesting fact. Somebody says, could you please chart Bitcoin Cash? Can I have the book be Andy? Somebody said, could you pump any coin with $100,000? It depends. There are smaller cap coins. I would say if you had a coin was at $1 million market cap, you can definitely pump it with $100,000. But the issue with $100,000 and $1 million market cap is the fact that you'll drive the prices up because there's not as much volume there for you to buy in. So you know, it's not as easy as people think to really bring or manipulate prices in a reasonable way, but it is possible, right? That's how institutions really put in a lot of money. Somebody says BTC breakout stream is fine. Awesome. So good to have all of you guys on the live stream. Let's continue our price analysis here for Litecoin. So that's pretty much what I'm expecting here for Litecoin. This pennant's forming right now, being the fact that we're on these lower levels of the pennant. You can see this MACD is starting to converge and get crossed over with that slow line. And you can see if this starts to cross over, we might see a little bit of another breakout like we did here. And the MACD is such a good way to determine this. You know, the only thing with the MACD that I don't like is it will typically happen after the parabolic run-up. So you can see here, this is the point that we crossed, and that's exactly after this run-up started to occur, but it was an indicator that there was going to be further run-up. So that's how you utilize the MACD. That's why you want to use the RSI. You can see the RSI went under 30 before the MACD crossed. So the RSI is extremely important, guys. Use this RSI wisely. I'm telling you, this is the best way to get those entry and exit points. You can see here, RSI dropped. If you would have just followed the philosophy of, if the RSI drops under 30, I'm going to buy, you would have bought here. And then guess what? You could have sold right here and then went from 5,466 Satoshis all the way, I'm sorry, 500,000 Satoshis, 557,000 Satoshis, all the way up to 1.8 million Satoshis. So highly recommend utilizing that RSI indicator, guys. So let's go ahead and pull up XLM BTC. Somebody asked about the cup and handle. You can see we're forming exactly what we needed to form. That Wix was just high enough to complete that cup, in my opinion. And you can see here, we have this initial breakout. If you guys don't know what a cup and handle is, let me show you something pretty cool, actually. Check this out. You can literally do a side-by-side comparison here and see exactly how these two correlate with each other. Check this out. Cup and handle, breakout. There's breakout confirmed. Consolidation, consolidation, bam. Consolidates, cup forms. You have that roundness here, and then if you pulled up the 1 hour, you could probably see it clear, to be honest with you. You can see here, cup and handle here. Look at that, bam. So initial run up right here, this is a cup and handle. So you can compare that, right? Breakout occurs, now this handle's forming. So we had this line drawn out for quite a bit. Look at that, it's following this line. We drew this line out way before this started coming down. I drew this line out when price was here. I thought it was going to peak up right here. So this is forming exactly how I expected it to form. You can see volume is starting to get a little bit higher around this level. I think we might see it thin out a bit until we see another spur in volume that's going to bring that price up to the top level, potentially seeing another breakout here with this cup and handle. So XLM is still following our initial price prediction that we had with our video. If you guys watched the video on why Stellar will rise in 2018, I did a pretty extensive analysis there. So somebody says that is a James Larley. He's always, yeah, we got to get rid of this guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He actually, yeah. Let's go ahead and look here. Somebody says, you nailed that one, my man. Aaron Manning. Somebody says, hey guys, I don't see a lot of you in the Discord. Get yourself there. I'm not promoting NEM. I'm telling you, your life will change. Yeah, the Discord is important. I agree 100%. You guys definitely got to get on that Discord. We have tons of different new stuff happening there. We're gonna be having a night owl tonight that's gonna be open under voice 2 tonight. So if you guys are on our night owl, you're gonna be going under voice 2 right over here, and that's where the night owl is gonna be. Somebody says, hey Naeem, love your stuff. Could you take a look at VTC if you get a chance, please? For sure, Mr. Briggs. Let's go ahead and check out VTC here. VTC, BTC. Let's see what's happening here. VTC, BTC. Interesting chart. So we've got this descending support line here, and you can also tell that this resistance is also descending quite a bit. A couple different waves forming here. If we were doing some oscillators there, we can even draw out some waves. I don't want to get too complex yet until we start teaching that. We actually have a video from Michael Foster that we're going to post soon for MACD. We really want to dive into these one by one so you guys can start getting a real grasp on it. I've been getting tons of messages, by the way, and I love them. People are saying, man, I'm starting to use this MACD and I love it. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. You're utilizing the indicators properly, because you might as well use the tools that are available to you, right? They're right at your fingertips. So, you know, don't don't just fletch on them, you know, continue to use them. So looking at VTC though, we're obviously descending here. It's looking like we had a couple different parabolic run-ups here. That A, B, C, D, A, B, and then it looks like it kind of stopped right there, and now we're starting to see this consolidate a little bit. So I would actually draw this line right over here right now to kind of follow this channel. So your goal is to always narrow in on these channels. Now what I am noticing here is we're finding some support on this green Fibonacci line. So we dropped below that, we found a little bit of ground there, and we pushed back up. Now you can see the MACD looks like it's about to start heading upwards once again. However, the RSI has not hit bottom yet. So in my opinion, there's still a little bit of a way to go for this to actually get in a good buying price, at least before it starts to see any more run-ups. I think this is going to continue to drop a little bit more, being that this RSI is still not that low. I think once again, if you see this blue Fibonacci line, I think that right there could be the possible area in which we start to find that. Now, what's interesting about this graph too, if you remove this Fibonacci, we're also finding support on this 200-day moving average. So we're under the 50-day, which is a good thing, right? So I can expect this to have a potential breakout soon, but I think we can get better prices in my opinion. I think it will stay under that 50-day. I actually have a chart here that's very similar to this. If you look at ETH, check this out. You see how we stayed under that 50-day? We bounced off that 200-day? That's kind of what's happening here, but look what happened here. We ended up falling off of that 200-day moving average. So we found support, and then we fell off, right? And I think that is really where you want to focus in. And guess what's also similar? Look at this RSI. Very similar to what we're seeing with VTC. So if you pull up VTC, it's like it's a reminiscent graph of this Ethereum chart that we're looking at. So if you see here, it's exactly the same. We're over on top of that 200-day, but the RSI is also in that same exact level. So if we were to compare this side by side, you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. If we pull up the Ethereum chart, which is very similar to this, so check that out. Look at that. So it's almost like we're in this exact position of where we were at previously. Let's go ahead and pull this up a little bit better here. This does not look good. So you can see here, does that make sense? Do you guys see that? Do you see how it's very similar after this parabolic run up? Now we're jumping on that 50-day. Hopefully that helps some of you guys. Very important to look at this. So RSI is around the same level. MACD was around the same level, and then this ended up dropping even lower, right? And that's exactly what I was talking about. The RSI hit bottom. That's where the really good buying prices are, and then that breakout occurred, just like we talked about. So same thing here. I believe this is going to do the same exact thing. It's going to fall off this 200-day. When it falls off, that's the time to buy, and then the breakout will occur once it hits that bottom, right? And then it's oversold. So hopefully that has secured a little bit of your thoughts on this chart. Let's go ahead and take some requests here from the viewers and see what else we have. Hopefully that helped out in some way. Did that help out? I think that was pretty beneficial just now. I think that was some good value. That was really good value, honestly, because it kind of confirmed the analysis we initially had. Somebody said, hey, Mr. Marius, good to have you here. Albert's in the house. Nanthi's in the house. Simply Dusty's in the house. We got Frank McLovin, FBI. Kevin, Miss Vital Survival. Mike Buccalo, Soli. By the way, guys, we are going to be giving away this book, so pay attention. I'm going to be asking some questions. I might be teaching some new things, and we're going to be giving out this book, The Internet of Money. This is Blockchain Bitcoin 101. So stay tuned, and you guys are going to have the chance to win this. Wallets aren't wallets. This is one paragraph. In Bitcoin, every single term and design metaphor is wrong and broken. Let's go through the list. You've probably struggled with this as you've engaged with this technology of Bitcoin and looked at all of the terminology. First of all, a wallet. What is a wallet? A wallet is something that stores money. Not in Bitcoin, it isn't. The money isn't in the wallet. The money is on the network. And then there's a cliffhanger. So let's get a little bit more laid back here. Pop our sparkling water. Somebody said TRX will pump again off hype alone. None of us can be 100% sure about its long term at this point. But Justin has the gift of gab, and major Chinese players have his back. The gift of gab. I love it, man. Somebody says, can you take a look at TRX? Let's do TRX BTC because we got a request from Soli. We also got a request from a couple other people about TRX, like Lyndon Dyingzon. So let's go ahead and pull up TRX BTC here and see what's popping. Oh wow, this is the wrong chart. I was waiting for that. And let's go ahead and pull up TRX BTC here. So looking at TRX, looks like we're starting to thin out a little bit, which is not a bad thing. It's always good when things squeeze, right? Because squeezing creates pressure, and pressure can release a breakout. Looking at this chart, though, if we pull up this 1 hour, we can see exactly what's occurring here. It looks like we're starting to squeeze here on these price levels. We're pretty much riding along this line here of 580-ish Satoshis, right around that resistance line that really we're finding some stronger resistance right around 700 Satoshis, 697, 700 Satoshis. It really gets thinned out there. It's almost like a paintball barrel, right? It's just very thin. I think Tron is pretty much exactly where we talked about this a couple days ago, it seems like, or maybe even yesterday. But the RSI, as you can see, still pretty high. I think this, I would be more comfortable with that being a little bit lower, possibly around this range. And if you look at this MACD, still on its nosedive down, so that's pointing pretty straight down. It doesn't look like it's about to intersect in any way, shape, or form just yet. Looking at the volume, you got this downward trend here with the volume as well. So we're decreasing in volume, decreasing in these resistance levels. So all the indicators here are showing that it's going to continuously see a downtrend until it hits bottom. I think once we hit bottom, that's when we'll see the breakout here. And once again, this RSI or this 50-day moving average could potentially be the bottom here. So you can see we bounced off of that once. I think we're going to test that once again right here. And if that's the case, I think the best buying opportunity is going to be when this RSI, once again, is under 30, and then it's riding along that 50-day along this line here. So that's really what I'm looking at for Tron. You know, now the other scenario that I'd be cautious of, let me go ahead and actually breach some caution within our audience here tonight. I want you guys to be aware of the fact that there is a possibility that this could break this 50-day. If it breaks the 50-day, we're most likely going to get back down to these levels here of 227 Satoshis. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm going to say worst case scenario, this is a possibility. So the RSI, you can see, is fairly high right now, to be quite frank with you. It's 48. In my opinion, that's high at these lower lows. Being the fact that we just came up from around 1.4 thousand Satoshis, now we're less than half of that, around 500-ish. I would say that there's also a potential that this was all hype and it could start to drop back down. But like somebody said, more hype can drive this back up, right? So looking at the price levels right now, the best buying opportunities would either be, in my opinion, on this 50-day with a stop loss set up immediately under that, because if it is under that, if we pull up the auto fib, let's see how the auto fib looks. Or we can go ahead and manually draw out this Fibonacci line. So we'll do the Fibonacci retracement here. So you take the peak price and you go all the way down to the bottom. So you can see, not only are we finding that support here on that 50-day, but that 50-day is riding right along this Fibonacci line. So there is a possibility, though, it could drop below and hit red zone. That's definitely a possibility. There's nothing holding it from not doing that, right? And if that does happen, I think the best buying opportunity would be right here on this green, right around the 239 Satoshi level, because at that point, we have some support here, previous support levels. I don't think you can go beyond that. So if you're holding Tron, I think it's good to continue to hold it, being the fact that they're already at low levels. And I can firmly say that it's most likely not going to go lower than this 204 Satoshi line, right? So if that's the case and we're only around, 500-ish Satoshis right now, then I think it's fine to continue to hold this. There's not much more you can lose if you already bought around these higher highs. So hopefully that can help out. Somebody says you can't factor in coin burn on a chart. That's what fundamental analysis is for, brother. Somebody said, hi, Naeem. What's your opinion on BTC? Will it cross 13,000 by January? Surab, good question, brother. I actually answered that in our live stream today, man. But we can pull up BTC. That's on the. It's actually on the. It's on the title of this video, so it's definitely an important one to pull up, especially for this video. Somebody says, thank you, bro. No problem, Soli. Somebody says, not again, LOL. For sure. Why Vibe Cup and Handle did not work? Why Vibe Cup and Handle did not work? Let's see. Vibe Cup and Handle. Let's go ahead and pull up the cup and handle that was forming here. Was this a cup and handle or a rounding bottom? Let's go ahead and open this up here. So right now we're in these lower lows. So this is really where that was forming here. Let's go ahead and bring that on top here to see what was happening. So dropping this Fibonacci indicator. Let's see here. So you can see we did have this cup and handle that was forming here with the base right down here. And then that handle formed here. My initial prediction was a possible breakout here. This is pretty much January 21st when things started to slip. It looks like we're still finding some support along this line, which is good. That's right around 7,705 Satoshis. And not only are we finding support there, this was actually previous support levels. If you look here, you drop it back down a little bit, you can see we found a little bit of support right around that level here. That's very important to watch, right? So if we stay on top of this price level, looks like we hit bottom right over here, and we saw that price try to run itself back up. There wasn't enough volume. The reason this cup and handle did not break out is because there wasn't enough volume here. It looks like the volume was increasing at one point, but then the volume slipped up right over here. And I think this is exactly that time when there was this huge downtrend with Bitcoin. So if we pull up the 19th of Bitcoin, let's go ahead and see what occurred here on the 19th. It looks like on the 19th, yeah, so this is the 19th going into the 20th where we started to slip back down here right around this price level. And I think that was influencing the market quite a bit. Bitcoin is about to run itself back up. See, this is a good segue here to Bitcoin. Looking at Bitcoin's price level right now, if you pull up the chart that we drew out today with the one-day chart, if we pull up the BTC USD Bitstamp chart, you can see here that we're forming this flag, and we're starting to see this price starting to go back up, right? And based on the waves that we drew out today in our video where we had the A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, the next wave is expected to go back up, right? It looks like we're starting to follow that. You can see price levels are 11,800, the higher 11s. And I believe we're going to start to follow that level. It's funny because I actually have one of my friends that actually just got into crypto, and he actually has a Coinbase account. And he showed me his Coinbase account. He's like, hey, man, how do I transfer this to GDAX? And I'm like, well, you have to open up a GDAX account. So he opens up a GDAX account, and I kind of showed him a little bit. And he was like, so I want to make $500 on this. What would I have to sell it on? And the sell price to make the $500 was right around this price level where this peaks out. So that $14,227 price range of where he was at was exactly where he needed to sell in order to make the profit he wanted to profit on. So it's kind of funny because you see these newcomers coming into the market and they know exactly where they want to sell already. They know that it goes up and down, and they just wait for it to go back up. And I'm like, man, you're advanced. You're ahead of a lot of traders that end up selling at these lower levels, and they don't even ever get to see a profit, because when they do have a profit, they end up losing it because they never take profits. So it's important to take profits. Highly recommend it. It will ensure that you can pay yourself in the market, right? What's the point of being in the market when you can't pay yourself? So let's go ahead and look at what we've got here in terms of more questions. Somebody said UFR is a good buy right now. What is UFFR? Somebody says, Saya coin, please. Interesting to hear your opinion on Bitmain versus Saya Monera. Interesting, Christopher. Maybe we can talk about that in the Night Owl. It seems like a pretty interesting conversation. Bitmain versus Saya Monera. What else do we got here? Andrew K in the house. Neo Geo said, is Discord your software or a third-party app? That's a third-party app. It's extremely secure, though. There's a lot of encryption that's done there. And the way we have it all set up, we're in the highest security bracket for Discord. So, you know, every individual has to have a verified account. So we don't have any sort of trolls or anything like that, which is good. Russell Dyer, the only question we should all be asking is, at what overall market cap does the U.S. government interject and impose more regulation? Until then, over time, most crypto goes up. Let's look at overall. I think in terms of market cap, Russell, you know, the IRS, extremely understaffed. They haven't released true guidelines on how to handle cryptocurrency taxes, right? They almost like just kind of give you a stiff arm and say, you know, treat it as a security or an asset, right? And I think as time flows and time progresses, you know, like I was reading the Wall Street Journal the other day, and there was an article about the US dollar falling in price, right? It's dropping in price, and Trump is saying that, hey, not to get political, but Trump is saying, you know, hey, you know, the US dollar is going to stay strong. It's not going to continue to drop. And I think that cryptocurrency, people tie cryptocurrency to the United States a lot, where in reality, the United States isn't really the big player here in terms of when you look at it in a global perspective. Like, you've got all of these bigger players out there that in conjunction together can form a mass larger than what the United States can populate against crypto. So you have countries like China and India and, you know, West and East Asia, right? All of these territories, right? Even the Middle East, very big in crypto. I think those countries are extremely influential, more than anything. You know, I actually, one of my friends, one of my mentors, Yazan, he actually just had an ICO recently called the Gibral Network. I actually saw it on, somebody sent me this. It was a Robinhood voting system where they were going to actually implement any coin that won the voting, whatever it was. You know, they had a couple different coins on there. I don't know if he was winning or not, but it was interesting to see that because, you know, Yazan, he actually didn't accept U.S. investors. So I asked him, I said, well, why don't you accept U.S. investors? I can't even invest with him, right? If I'm the U.S. and he doesn't accept U.S. investors, I can't invest with him. So, so I ended up, thank you for the super chat, Nirav. I'll answer that question in just a sec, Mr. Patel. So I asked him, I was like, so why don't you do it? He's like, well, I could probably make a couple million extra dollars if I accept U.S. investors. However, he said the regulations that are so complex, because the U.S. has the most complex regulations out of any other country. He said, you know, it almost creates this vulnerability of a potential lawsuit or a potential, you know, legal infraction or infraction. I'm sorry. And he said, just having that risk based upon his, you know, his risk management thought process, he said it wasn't worth the risk to even have the ICO in the U.S. and accept U.S. investors with their policies and regulations that could potentially fight back against it. And he said it wasn't worth going through a possible lawsuit, possible security risks based upon the couple millions of extra dollars that he was, you know, potentially going to be able to raise versus the millions of dollars. And he even said this, he said there's way more money in other countries like China and India that can raise money for ICOs than in the US. And that's really where he's focused. And that's really where the majority of his investors through the ICO came from, right? So that kind of answers a question that a lot of people have about why don't these ICOs accept the US? And it's not a sketchy thing. It's just, it's almost like a risk management technique that they utilize. So somebody says, how can I become a Sniper's Diamond? Sniper's Diamond, everything is on our Patreon. So if you want to look at that, you're more than welcome to. We definitely appreciate all of that. We have a thriving network there, and we have a thriving community. We post special content there on a daily basis. If you guys actually go tonight on our Discord, we're going to be doing an open night owl tonight on Voice 2. You can see we already got some early birds in there. So a lot of you guys want to have a chance to interact with me or our team, any of our moderators. We're all going to be under Voice 2 tonight on our Discord. So I highly recommend getting on our Discord. The link is in the description, and you guys can actually pop this up on your web browser or your mobile phone and actually get some more uncensored information. Really get into depth, right? This is a monologue, but really have the dialogue and really get into really what could be beneficial for you in terms of knowledge for the future or your future trades. You know, we talk about a ton of different stuff there. So let's go ahead and do a book giveaway really quick. We'll give away a book here, The Internet of Money. Highly recommend this book for anybody investing in Bitcoin, because you have to understand the technology that you're investing in. That's one of the most important aspects of investments, right? If you don't understand what your investment is, then why would you invest in something you don't understand? If you do, actually, I would recommend doing less than 5% if you're investing in something you don't understand, right? And that's less than 5% of your investment capital. So your investment capital alone should be a small percentage of your total capital. And then within that small percentage, there's even a smaller percentage for things you don't understand. My mentor taught me that. He said, if you don't understand something, invest 5% in something you don't understand, 5 to 10% in something you don't understand. He said, if you do understand something, but not a lot, he said, you can invest 20 to 30%. And he said, if you understand something quite a bit, you can invest more than 50%. So, you know, if you're into real estate or bonds or stocks, traditional commodities, Forex, cryptocurrency, any of these are all considered investments. And you want to be careful with, number one, not investing more than you're willing to lose. Don't go into debt trying to invest in crypto, right? Some people think that that's a smart idea, and in my opinion, it's not. Don't go into debt. You know, I was always taught, stay cash flow positive, you know, don't ever get into debt. You know, there's certain situations like a mortgage is an exception, and certain things of that manner. Sometimes, you know, if you're opening up a business and it requires a lot of capital, you have to get in debt. But nowadays, you don't really need to get in debt to open up a business. Everything is done online, right? You can open up a Shopify store. You can open up something and just utilize Craigslist for advertising and do it, you know, on a case-by-case basis. So there's so many ways to not get in debt and create income through a business or an investment. And I highly recommend not getting into debt, because most people already have school debt, right? So what is the question for the giveaway? So this book is awesome. Somebody says, all my eggs are in EOS and I'm $200 under. What do I do? Mr. Lopez, that's not good. Yo, Naeem, who's your mentor? I have many different mentors, Almaty. You know, my mentors range in different aspects of my life, right? So I have people that are mentor of mine in, you know, maybe in business or maybe in life or cryptocurrency, or, you know, I have tons of different mentors. One of them is Yazan, right? He just had an ICO. I have another crypto mentor, you know, and Tom Miller is a great mentor of mine. Thomas Miller taught me a lot about trading. You know, he's traded for over 30 years. It's funny, I showed him the Bitcoin chart and he literally pointed out exactly where it was going to drop. Because he was in, you know, he's had experience in traditional markets. He never invested in crypto. So I just showed him this chart. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? And he's like, it looks good. He's like, it's going to drop right about there. And he like pointed it out exactly. And he's an awesome guy. But, you know, he's taught me a lot about emotional stability and psychological aspects of trading that a lot of people don't take into account. That's why I have this on our Discord here. You have these helpful reads right over here. All of these books I recommend, you know, especially The Internet of Money starting off, because this will really give you a in-depth analysis of what the technology is and where the potential is. And then a little bit more of a complex read is Mastering Bitcoin by the same author. And then if you guys want to understand psychology, trading psychology, great book. All that is in helpful reads. Let's go ahead and give this away. Here's going to be the question for the book giveaway. The question for the book giveaway is, which coin was created by the founder of Ripple that wasn't Ripple? And we'll give this book away to the second person. And you'll know this if you've paid attention to our live streams. So we'll give it to the second person. Okay, somebody said Stellar, and then somebody said XLM. I guess I can accept XLM. That's completely fine. So EO2 Guilt, send me a message on Twitter. Congratulations, you've won the Internet of Money. And we'll do another giveaway before the end of this live stream. We'll give away this book again, since we have unlimited copies, because Amazon has unlimited copies. So congratulations, brother. Send me a message so we can verify your account on YouTube, and then you'll have that sent out to you. EO2 Guilt. Good job. So we'll put that down here. And let's go ahead and take a request here. Somebody says congratulations. Yes. Let's go ahead and take a request here. What do you guys want to look at? Any coins in mind? Let me see if we have any VIP access members that are requesting a coin. Pull this up here. Give me 1 second. All right. So VIP access. So for those of you that are emeralds and above, you have access to request. Somebody says AST and MCO. All right. Any? Bam. All right. So we'll take those requests, and then we'll take. We got a couple super chats. So Nirav said in the super chat, can you please check UFR and give me your opinion either to keep holding it or should I rethink selling it for 20% loss as of now? Interesting, Nirav, Mr. Patel. Let's go ahead and pull up UFR. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Somebody says, what's up with Ethereum rising right now? Is it just temporary? We'll have to look at that. I think we just did our Ethereum analysis, though. So do you think Ripple and Bank of America will work together next month? Interesting, Abraham. I didn't get any confirmed news of that. So somebody says, actually, Mike Gracio was second. No, he wasn't. On my screen, he wasn't. So we're going by my screen, and your screen might look different, but Mike Grazio was first. So I don't know what you're talking about. Mike Grazio, look, nobody said it before that. Nobody said it. And then EO2 Guilt said it second, and then Miss Vital Survivor was third. So that's why we're only going to go by my screen. Your screens might look different. But that's because YouTube's servers are not fast enough to keep up with all the people on these live streams, because we have one of the fastest growing channels, and I think that's awesome. We're really growing really fast, guys, more than ever. You know, and it's awesome because we're bringing in more knowledge into our community. We just hit over 23,000 members on our Discord. Sounds crazy, but it's true. Over 23,000 members. We've never grown this fast before. Our YouTube channel has just been on the up and up. You know, 1,000 subscribers a day, sometimes 500 a day, you know, but regardless, it's growing, and it's growing fast. So, you know, I think it's awesome, guys, and I appreciate it. You know, I think it's a blessing to be able to be in this position and lead and influence the community, you know, and that's why we protect our Discord with a zero tolerance policy. You know, we have zero tolerance for anything. You know, if you're promoting and you're doing things that are not right, we're going to kick you right out, because we only want people there that add value and can be there to gain knowledge, right? So it's awesome. It's exciting, guys. It's a blessing. I wake up every day and I say thank you, God, for this opportunity, because it really means a lot. And we'll take this this request here. Somebody says IOST, iOS token. So let's go ahead and pull up this first one for Mr. Patel. He wants to know if he should sell UFL or UFR. And this isn't financial advice, however, you know, I'm going to give you my opinion on what I would do. And UFR is not pulling up, unfortunately, so I do apologize. We might not be able to do that. It might be a smaller coin. So let's go ahead and see UFR here, up firing. 12 million satoshis. Yeah, we can't. There's not much technicals we could do here, guys. This is a very small coin. Here, I'll teach you something though, all of you guys. When you have a coin this small, you have to be, you know, in it for the long term. So if you're at a 20% loss, I mean, if I'm investing in a coin this small, I'm not selling whatsoever. You know, I'm holding that, and I might have a profit, you know, a profit strategy where if it goes up a certain percentage, it quadruples or it doubles, I might take my profits, but I'm not selling at a loss for sure. I would never sell a coin like this at a loss. That's just ignorant in my opinion, because it's such a small coin that it hasn't even had the chance to mature yet. I mean, you know, $113,000 in volume in the past 24 hours. That's not much. It's a very small coin. So you guys have to be careful with these smaller coins too. You know, you can easily go 20%, 30%, 50% under. Somebody says, much love from Hawaii. That is awesome. What is it, like 3 p.m. in Hawaii right now? That is awesome, man. Somebody said, I'm here since day one. Interesting. Let's go ahead and pull up this next request here. Lumen said, what do you think about VeChain? PS, love the stream. Keep it up. Let's go ahead and do VCN or VEN, VeChain. It's a pretty big coin here. So we'll do VEN BTC. And we drew this out quite a bit ago. You can see we're starting to see a little bit of consolidation here. Let's pull up the 1-day chart here and see what's happening there. And let's pull up the 1 hour first to get a little bit of a closer view here. So you can see with this chart, we're seeing that consolidation. Looks like on the 1 day, we're about 80, right around, not 80, 60-ish% away from that 50-day moving average. So looks like the RSI is fairly high. Looks like this coin is definitely going to see some consolidation. Once again, we're really far from that 50-day. This RSI is extremely high. This MACD just crossed under, so that cross under is an indicator of a downtrend. And you can see we have no true support just yet. If we pull up that 1 hour, you can't find any support levels. Even if you try to call this a support level, it really isn't, because there was no other previous support on that exact integer, which is around 56,398. So looks like this is on the downtrend. I mean, that's just the truth about this one. You look at the 8 hour, same exact thing. Saw a little bit of support there, but it wasn't really support because the RSI was still over 40 when it hit that level. So I think this is way overbought right now. So I would give this a little bit of time to drop down. And yeah, somebody says love from Holland. That is awesome. Zambo, is he taking no YouTube stream requests? Yeah, we're taking stream requests for sure. Somebody says, hello from Osaka. Hello from Bali, Indonesia, Angelo. That is awesome. Wow, you got a ton of people from all around the world. Somebody says, I listen to Night Owls on Discord. I can say it's been great to have all the different insight on crypto. That's awesome, Endeavor TV. Tonight we're going to be having a Night Owl, guys. For those of you tuning in right now, I highly recommend all of you guys join in our Night Owls, because you guys think this is good information. This is really where you get the deep information. It's in these voice chats on our Discord. And the reason it's like that is because you have more than one mind and more than one form of intelligence being brought towards you guys, and it's a form of collaborative intelligence. You know, that's one of those. That's one form of super intelligence. It's collaborative intelligence, where you take a group of individuals and you collaborate together. Look,
you could get out now, then it could take off. It's like
it could take off, right? Don't you want to know what's about to take off? So that's why I recommend tonight we're all going to come here tonight. It's a free resource. You just download it, or you can go on the web version. It's a third-party app. It's an extremely secure app, beautiful user interface. And as soon as we're done with this live stream, which is going to be soon, we're going to be heading over to voice_2 and continuing this in voice 2. So I'd love to see a lot of you guys there tonight. Once again, the link is in the description. Once you're there, turn on your mic by clicking user settings, voice and video, push to talk. And then for those of you that don't want to put your mics in, you're just introverts that want to listen in, that's completely fine. A lot of people do. Most of them do, actually. So hopefully that helps out. Somebody says, what happened to audio? Nothing happened to audio. Somebody says, I need to be on that website. I strive to be intelligent. Please review BAT. What website? Now, when looking at RSI, is it best on 1 day chart for below 30 entry point? The 1 day chart RSI, in my opinion, is extremely important, Eric, because it really can give you an idea of entry and exit points in the long term for a swing trade. If you're pulling up like a 1 hour chart, you can see the RSI is extremely sporadic. That's more of a day trader's tool. So depending on what type of trader you are, there's 3 types of traders. There's day traders, swing traders, and value investors. Day traders are trading 1 to 20, 30 times a day, even more. Swing traders will trade every now and then, right? They might get a position in now and sell it in a week from now or 2 weeks from now. And then a value investor will look at the fundamentals of a technology, and they'll actually invest in that and hold long term. They also can take profits throughout time, and that's completely fine. But for the most part, they'll keep a holding in that coin depending on how they want to rebalance. So it's called the rebalancing for a value investor that initializes an investment, for example, in Ripple or Ethereum. And then as Ripple or Ethereum's price continues to increase, As a value investor, they can rebalance by taking profits and paying themselves as prices start to increase and profits are made. So hopefully that helps you. So he said, what's a good time to get into the chat? We're going to be heading over there soon, to be honest with you. So that would be soon. Let's go ahead and pull up EOS BTC really quick. We're going to get a request for that. EOS is pretty high right now. As you can see here on the 1 hour chart, we're hitting these top levels here where we've previously found resistance. Looks like we found a little bit of pushback, but we kind of broke right through that. Once again, it didn't form that handle, and it kind of removed itself from this cup and handle. So if we were to redraw this, let's go ahead and remove drawing tools. If a pattern never goes the way you think, just clear it up and then redraw, right? That's how you can get a better idea of what's happening. Looks like MACD is about to cross over with this slow line. It looks like RSI is trying to dip down right now, but the RSI, to be honest with you, has been at these higher points for quite a while now. So it's going to be interesting to see if that does continue to dip down or not. Looking at price levels, if we were to see exactly how far we are from this 50-day, looks like we're about 50% away. I would say give this a little bit of time to mature at these higher highs, because you can see the test of resistance is going to come right around 16,000 satoshis. I wouldn't be surprised if this continued to go up and tested these support levels, to be frank with you. At one point here, you can see how high it was with these wicks, and it seems to be continuing on this uptrend. You know, despite the downtrend that Bitcoin has been on, EOS has kind of waved against it, and looks like it's acting as a hedge against Bitcoin, at least throughout these down times that we've seen in January. So looking at this chart, in my opinion, we're still at these higher levels. Looks like we had 1, 2, 3 run-ups there. RSI is pretty high right now, but it doesn't phase the RSI. It looks like it just goes against it the whole time. And then the MACD is just now starting to cross over. So it's going to be interesting to see where that heads. I think EOS right now needs a little bit of time to mature. And the reason being is it's had this huge run up lately. So if you're a value investor, that's a good thing for EOS, because that means you've made a lot of profit. The one thing I would note about this graph is this volume. You can see volume here is significantly lower than volume here. So the volume that it took to initialize the run up is not the volume that we're seeing here to continue the run up. And that's why we saw a little bit of pushback with this MACD. So there is a possibility it could hit this resistance, and if the volume doesn't increase enough, that resistance will take over and then push the price down. But if more volume comes in at these higher levels, it can certainly break out of that resistance level. That's pretty much what I would say there. Let's go ahead and look at our next coin here. And it looks like we have, would a value investor sell now, crypto already? If you're at a profit and it depends what your profit targets are, right? Sometimes your profit targets might be 20%, 10%, 15%. If you're at those profit targets, you can take those profits and pay yourself. So the value investor typically won't sell their initial investment. They'll hold their initial investment, and they'll only sell whenever it's proper according to their profit-taking strategy. So hopefully that helps out. Let's go ahead and see what else we got popping here, guys. Who do we got on the live stream? Stefano in the house. Bebak Baban. The Critic, Zombie is here. Albert, Mike Buckaloo, that's a funny name. I like it. Justin Cow, Mauricio, Stefano, Chad Smith, Jacob E in the house. I got to see you on that Night Owl, Jacob. Gutang, Gustav, Benjamin. Good to have you, Benjamin. Egatostnak. Project Spartan said, I'm back. High Renaissance is morning name. Where are you from that is morning? Lamilu said, Ripple, please. Soli. Kevin Yang is here. Who else we got? John L. Shayaka. Good to have you guys. Soli. Who's this? Tenzin Yontin. Hi from India. Wow. Zombie says, I'm not a critic. I like you. I subbed. Good, man. Yeah, we don't got too many critics. I have a lot more support than critics, which is awesome. I mean, a lot of YouTubers, they get a lot of hate, and I'm appreciative of the fact that we have a strong community. You know, the comments on our videos, everything is just awesome. And, you know, our Discord, if you guys go to Success Stories, it'll blow your mind. I mean, so many people just getting success from being a part of the community. Highly recommend it, guys. By the way, tonight, or soon actually, we're going to be heading over to our Night Owl, which is going to be under voice_2. You can see we already have a bunch of people here. Highly recommend this if you guys want to get a chance to listen in on questions that people will ask. And then we actually have our moderators in there as well. And then you guys can actually come in there and ask questions if you want. So hopefully we'll see some of you guys there. Somebody says they get hate because they use crypto buzzwords instead of analytics. Interesting. Somebody said, haters gonna hate, bro. Keep going. Yeah, man. You know, I mentioned time. This is you don't got critics. You ain't doing something significant. You gotta have critics. Somebody said, my name is Jeff. Hey there, and I'm a big fan. Love how you promote knowledge, wisdom, and reading. Any chance you can do Stellar or Quantum? I think we did both of those, Alibab. I'd love to take that request. We do have a couple super chats though that we have to address here, so I do want to address these really quick. So we did VeChain, IOST, Rumen Doggett. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Let's do IOST, BTC, and see what's popping here. So looks like we had this huge sell-off. In my opinion, with a coin like this, being that there's not enough data, you can't even pull up a 50-day moving average on this. Being the fact that it's such a new coin on this, I would say for IOST, you got to do a fundamental. This is a newer coin on Binance. Now, one thing I can tell you, just a rule of thumb, is when these coins come out, they're already pumped at high levels. You know, typically the founders of the coin know that it's going to be on an exchange like Binance or Bittrex, and it's going to get released. So they'll make sure that people that they know get their stake in so they can make their money. When the coin gets released, prices typically drop. That's typically what you'll see. That's why you see RSI started overbought, right? It started on top of the 70 line. So you got to be careful with these coins that just come on these exchanges out of nowhere. Is it better to trade with BTC or ETH? Good question, Dante Martin. I trade, it depends, to be honest with you, but ETH, obviously Ethereum has lower transaction fees typically, and it's faster typically. And it's really up to you. I always use Satoshi value though. That's always, you know, the comparative that I'm using, because I typically am trading in Bitcoin just because of the pairings that I'm utilizing. So if you can utilize Ethereum pairings, you want to hodl Ethereum and you care about more Ethereum than Satoshis, then you're more than welcome to do that, right? It's completely up to the strategy you want to utilize. Shout out to Ricky Durr, brand new Emerald Patreon. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that, man. Ricky, I'd love to see you tonight, man. Shout out to Ricky. Just became a new Emerald. So you'll actually be getting all of our trade alerts. You'll also be getting all of the recordings. You'll also be getting VIP access. So that's unlimited coin requests, you know, throughout the month. So you have one every live stream. So congratulations, brother, being a new Emerald. Let's go ahead and finish up this one. Hopefully that answered your question, Dante Martin. It's really up to you, man. I would say, you know, utilize Satoshi value, being the fact that that's really the gold of the cryptocurrency market right now, and you want to have as much Satoshis as possible. I mean, everything is, you know, we're running off Satoshi value when we look at these charts, right? So, like, we can always pull up the IOST. Well, not even, look, IOST doesn't even have a USD chart, right? Because you're trading in Satoshis. So that's why it's important to use Satoshis. So hopefully that answers your question. Somebody says, check out Ocoin, still increasing daily volume. Ocoin? What type of coin is that? I can't even, let's see, Ocoin. There is no Ocoin, man. Somebody says OCN. Okay, OCN. You mean Odyssey? I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but let's see if OCN pops up here. There's no OCN. I don't get it. There's no Ocoin. And even if there was, there isn't any on TradingView, and there is one on KuCoin, but it's a very small coin. You see volumes at 58 million. I wonder what the market cap is. It has about 19 million in volume. It's definitely under, let's see, probably under 100 million. It might be higher. Let's see. Probably not though with that amount of volume. If we pull up OST here on KuCoin, OCN, I'm sorry, 29% up right now. Look at that. Oh man, huge volume, huge run up. You can't, I mean, there's no technical to do here, brother. Technicals will only work so much with a coin that just goes up, right? There's no technicals to this. You want to find out why is it going up. That's what I would do if I were you. Find out what the heck is the reason this is going up. So let's go ahead and take some more requests here. We do have a couple here on our VIP chat, VIP access for our emeralds. Somebody says MCO. Let's do MCO BTC. Monaco. Oh, look at that. Remember we predicted that it was probably going to do this again, and it's pretty much doing that exactly how we predicted. So looking at the one-day chart here with Monaco, yeah, we're still at these lower levels. So I guess the best thing to say about this one is we're still following this pennant that's forming here on the one-day, and it's pretty much riding along that 50-day moving average. So at any point this could have a breakout as long as volume starts to spur in, but RSI is pretty high. So I think we already did that yesterday. So let me, this was all, yeah, this was 8:58 a.m. That was a very early call. Somebody says AST. Let's do AST. Let's see if we've ever looked at this one. Interesting. So you have a little bit of a run up here from this 50-day. I wonder why. I think I would do a technical on this one. Not much fundamental analysis to do here, or technical analysis. There's obviously this increasing support level here. Looks like this is starting to decrease just a bit, but nothing to be worried about with these wicks that are just kind of shooting up, which is bullish. So, I mean, if this is a long-term investment, then I would just continue to hold. We need more of these. We need higher volume coins, guys. That's what technical analysis is for. Somebody says, yeah, it seems that XLM and ADA are tracking each other in price. Do you know if there's any correlation? That's a good question. I like that one. Let's do XLM BTC. And then we'll do a correlation chart here with ADA BTC Cardano and see what's happening here. So let's draw this out. Remove these drawing tools. Interesting. They are forming similar charts here. What I would say though is they're very different in terms of pattern. So with ADA, you've got a descending triangle. We've seen this quite a bit over the past couple of days. We talked about this descending triangle. So you have, in a descending triangle, you pretty much have these lower resistance lines and these stable support lines. So if you guys don't know how a descending triangle looks, on our Discord, this is a free resource. You can go to Trading 101, and once again, descending triangle looks just like this, where you have that breakout come down, and then you see that starting to form that squeeze, and that breakout occurs in the bottom. So it looks like that's exactly what we're seeing here, in my opinion. Now this one is a little bit different. It doesn't have a descending triangle formation. It looks like it's really not even a pennant at all or anything of that sort. It looks like it had a breakout here, tested these higher levels. Looks like we found strong resistance around 5,800 and 5,876 satoshis. We're pretty far away from that 50-day. Looks like MACD is intertwining with this low line, so it looks like it's going down right now. I would watch for head and shoulders here. There might be a potential head and shoulders that might form here. You can see right here formed a left shoulder, right shoulder, head, but then we ended up going up, so broke that pattern. But that could eventually happen up here too. So this one needs a little bit more time. I think as we give this more time to mature, we can see where prices are going to head. Maybe this can indicate a little bit of a better point of view. Let's do a one chart here, and well, what's interesting is you do have these support lines at 3,228 satoshis, and then we're within this channel. So it looks like for quite a bit we were finding some resistance here around 5,127 satoshis, which we actually found that resistance 4 times, and now we're forming this top channel here. So if we bounce off of this resistance line and we test these, if we bounce off these support lines, sorry, which were previous resistance lines, and then we bounce back on top and test these resistance, these highs, I think there is a possibility for a breakout here, and this is exactly how it would look. So we'd come back here, and if we bounce, we'll bounce here, test these lines, and we might bounce again to eventually see a breakout, right? As that 50-day gets time to mature and rise up with the price, and then we can potentially see that breakout occur after that. So hopefully that helps out. Let's go ahead and do our VIP access once again. Somebody said XRB would be great. Thanks, Tim. Good to have you on the live stream today, Tim. XRB BTC. So I believe Rayblocks is going to be through Coinigy, or do they have it here as well? Hopefully, yes, they do. Awesome. Let's go ahead and see. So we actually drew this out recently, Tim. With XRB, you can actually see here we have these resistance levels here around 772,000 satoshis, and we're back at these resistance lines. Now, this is kind of what I talked about earlier. If we break these resistance levels, you can see we found previous support here on January 8th, and we broke out and then found resistance here around 219,000 satoshis. So what I would say in this case, Tim, is if we enter this zone, which it looks like we're about to enter the zone, we could potentially see XRB head back into these previous highs to test this level of resistance. And let's go ahead and pull up a couple different indicators here to validate that. Let's do the RSI and the MACD here. So yeah, you can see RSI has a lot of time to grow. So these lower lows that we saw here with XRB were extremely low here. They were completely undersold, oversold. Now we're starting to see it rise back up. You can see RSI is just now starting to gain momentum and hit these higher levels. We can certainly see, don't be surprised if we find a channel form here, right? Let's say it starts to peak back down, because this RSI can easily start to just kind of wiggle around this area here, and if that does wiggle around, it will find its support here, and then it will recharge itself to potentially see that breakout. And once that breaks out, Tim, then it will form the channel here, and then most likely rise back up to these resistance lines. So if you're going to be selling this, I would say set up those stops here, take your profits around these levels. And if you bought here, you can still take profits around these levels too, and then get maybe a potential better buying price down here when the RSI starts to curve. Because typically the RSI doesn't just keep going up. Typically the RSI will see this run up like it did, form a little bit of some support around here, and then go back up if it is on an uptrend. You can see as well this fast line is well on its way to start crossing over here. You can see that blue line here crossed over already. It's well on its way up to get on that other side of this level here. So those are really the two scenarios here. You can either break through and head straight up into this whole new channel, and then it will consolidate and find support, or it will find resistance and then find support back around here where it found previous support. So hopefully that helps out a little bit, brother. And then somebody says EOS. I think we looked at EOS, didn't we? EOS BTC. Yeah, we already looked at EOS. Somebody says RSI looks pretty low. Let's see here. Not on the 1 day, right? Except we already looked at this. RSI is pretty high on the 1 day. So we already talked about EOS and the fact that we're obviously seeing a little bit of resistance here. However, it is on this uptrend. But the volume, in my opinion, isn't high enough to bring it back to these highs. Unless we see more volume come in, this is going to start to form horizontally here, in my opinion. Being the fact that the RSI is so high, and it's been at these highs for quite a while. Typically, if RSI is that high for a while, like we'll pull up ETH, it was kind of looking like this for a little bit. You can see the RSI here was high for quite a bit, and then eventually it found itself under for a little bit, now heading back to that taller zone. So there was phase A, phase B, phase C. Same thing here with EOS. So EOS, phase A, phase B, and there's probably most likely going to be another phase here, right? Because these don't overstretch too much typically, because that's price momentum. So hopefully that helps out. Claude, thank you for the super chat, brother. Claude said, "Hey Naeem, I took a position in Odyssey OCN a few days ago at 0.02. It's halfway to the moon already. It's a new issue and not on trading it yet. I'd value your thoughts. OCN, that is awesome, man. Good job. Proud of you, bro. Remember, take your profits as you go, brother. Don't just hold and hold and hold. Take your profits and then hold the initial investment, right? Rebalance. But I think we looked at OCN earlier today and we talked about it being a very new coin. So it's going to be hard to really do a technical here, man. Once again, I mean, these coins that are extremely new, which we looked at, yeah, it's going to be hard to do a technical here. But what I can suggest for you, let's look at the 1 minute really quick. What I can suggest for you, looks like we hit double bottom here. That happens, tends to happen a lot with these 1 minute charts. Let's see if we can do a 15-minute here and see a little bit of a clearer perspective. Yeah, so it looks like it's on its way up, but MACD is starting to get overstretched. RSI has been high for a while. There's not much of a pattern here. I wish I could tell you that there's more that there is to this chart. I would just find out why is it seeing this parabolic run up. Is it because it just came online on January 24th, or is it because there's an actual fundamental reason for this, Claude, you know? So looking at this chart, I mean, maybe we can talk about this in the Night Owl tonight about why it's like this, you know, because this is an interesting coin, especially on what's happening here. So I would definitely look more into the fundamentals of this. I'd be interested to see a generalized aspect of this, Claude. Let me actually pull this up on their website. Why is it seeing that? What is this coin? The future of decentralized sharing economy, the foundation of global peer-to-peer ecosystem. Connect everything, share everything, credit-based protocol. Interesting. It's a very nice website. Very beautiful user interface. So, look at that. 4 billion OCN. I wonder how much they raised. Seems like they've raised quite a bit. Chief advisor. Look who's the chief advisor. I bet you guys like seeing that face. Justin Sun. Interesting. I think that might have something to do with it, right? We got some awesome media partners here. Swift, Tron, IBM, Amazon. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe it's going up because of its fundamental sense. So, you know, you can always hold this for the long term, Claude. You know, you might not even want to sell this. You might just want to hold on to it. I might get a position on this if it's a great coin, in my opinion, and I look at the fundamentals. I think I'm going to save this, actually. I have a little spot here for all my ICOs, and I really like this one just from what I'm seeing so far. I'm going to look more into those partnerships that they're claiming, but I have this ICO tab here where I post my ICOs. Maybe I'll get back to you on that one, Claude, and look more into that. Yeah, that's an awesome token. So, or at least from what I've seen so far. It takes me about 4 hours to do my ICO reviews. You know, if you guys want some guidelines on how to review ICOs, number one, you're looking at the team, right? What is the team bringing to the table? Number two, you want to look at the potential for mass adoption, right? If the coin doesn't have potential for mass adoption, it's probably not going to succeed. And then number three, what problem does it solve? And does it even solve a problem, right? If it didn't work in a centralized approach, why would it work in a decentralized approach? So you have to take a perspective of whether or not this coin has a potential of being a usable technology in the short term, 2 to 3, 4, 5 years, because 5 to 10 years is a little overstretched in the new technology that's forming here. If you read the Internet of Money, by the way, it will talk about the fact that blockchain is in such an early stage that it's hard to really determine whether or not like the blockchain itself is going to be sustainable in terms of the future technology that will be built on top of the blockchain and enhance it even more. Just like how we started with storage using floppy disks and then we transitioned into different things, right? CD-ROMs at one point, and then going into hard storage and then hard drives and then cloud storage. So there's these transitions, there's these different times that progress. So we got another super chat from You're very welcome, Claude. Thank you, brother. Somebody says way overvalued at this point. Interesting. Peppy the Frog, can you confirm if music is on a cup and handle pattern? Not sure if I should continue holding or sell. Thanks so much, appreciated. Landon said, Claude, I would definitely hold until we come out of this market slump. It may correspond with TRX news since Justin is involved. May skyrocket with Tron. Interesting. Look at that. You're already getting some advice. See, that's the type of stuff we talk about in our night owls. So I want to see all of you guys there tonight. Everybody from this live stream is going to be heading over to this night owl. So for those of you that miss out, I feel bad for you, but we're going to be under voice 2 right here, under voice_2. You can see we already got over 100 people in our voice chats right now. But this is where we're going to get a little bit more of the uncensored information. This is where you get the real knowledge. This is where you guys can communicate and interact with the community. Highly recommend all of you guys to be there on this live stream. Any of you guys can just click the Discord button and get on there. Highly, highly recommend it. It will truly help you guys with understanding and getting into a groove of understanding the fundamentals of this industry, right? Because it's not all about technicals. A lot of it has to do with fundamentals, and that's the stuff that you hear in these voice chats. It's about the fundamentals. So can't wait to see some of you guys there tonight. You just click the Discord link. There's a mobile version, a web version. You can be sitting in your bed and using your phone. So say this guy's a great salesman, LOL. Yeah, well, if we don't have people in our Discord, that's less knowledge, and that's less collaborative intelligence, and that's less knowledge for you to thrive from. So you're welcome for being a good salesman for you guys. I mean, we want to make sure that we can get this thing popping, right? That's why we have 23,000 members. That doesn't just happen overnight. That takes skill. It takes some sort of focused and intentional effort. So hopefully that helps you, man. Somebody says, I have a pretty lady over tonight, but I'll join Discord tomorrow. That's fine, man. I'd love to for tonight, but I've been awake for 40 hours. That's fine. We don't, you know, you guys don't need to come in there. This is only for people that want the extra knowledge, that are serious about investing and making money. Somebody says, love the videos, bro. Perfect, professional, awesome. Keep up the good work, brother. This is now my favorite channel. Please do stuff every day. Thank you, little Hello Kitty. Yeah, we do this every single night, for sure. Somebody says, stop being jealous, man. He's created something awesome. I've been here since the first week. That is awesome, Aaron Manning. Are you related to Peyton Manning? I don't know how to get onto your Discord. Zambi, you can figure it out. It's easy. Just click the link. Is there a huge cup and handle and vibe that formed back and that went away? Let's see here. So we got our so the super chat request was for which coin? Music. Let's do music. BTC. It says, could you confirm the cup and handle here? I don't see a cup and handle. It doesn't look to be like a cup and handle is formed here. You have to understand how a cup and handle forms. Let me show you exactly what the cup and handle looks like. So the cup and handle will start with initial breakout, and then it will consolidate. This, it had a breakout, consolidated, but this can't even be the cup because it never went back to these higher levels. So if you were to say the cup started here, well, this is a downtrend, not a run up, so it can't happen from there. But so then you can also assume that it's a rounding bottom, right? The rounding bottom is similar to the cup and handle in the fact that instead of coming from a run up, it comes from a downtrend. So this is a rounding bottom. Sorry, let me try to find this. So the rounding bottom is the same, but it comes from a downtrend. So this came from a downtrend, dropped down, did the rounding bottom aspect of it, but it never went back to these levels. It kind of soared through. It saw an influx of volume, which kind of negated the fact that the cup and handle is going to form. Understand the handle and the cup is so important because that's really that consolidation gives time for the 50-day moving average to push, the 100-day moving average to push, as well as the volume to kind of mediate itself to eventually have that large breakout. So that handle is important. And this would have been a cup and handle if it formed resistance back here, right over here, and then consolidated, but it didn't. It went higher. So that means too much volume pushed it up. So the run up really happened right here in this realm. So hopefully that helps out. In this case, it looks like now we're finding some support right here along 323 Satoshis. But this looks like a reversal pattern to me, being the fact that you have this left shoulder, right shoulder, and then you got this head here. So I see a head and shoulders, not a cup and handle. And this is what a head and shoulders indicator of. It's a reversal pattern, unfortunately, but that's just the truth. There's an uptrend, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Uptrend, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So we're going to end it on that one. We don't have any more super chats. Looks like everything is good. I'd love to see you guys on our Discord tonight during our night owl. We don't typically have these open for everyone, so this is a special time tonight. Everybody click the Discord link, and then you literally can just go to voice 2, and that's where we're going to be chatting tonight. Oh, look at that. Wow, we got tons of people here now. So, yeah, we're filling up, guys. We're going to head over there so we can actually take some questions and kind of go into more depth about, you know, the future of Bitcoin and where we're headed in the next couple of weeks to really get a little bit of a different perspective. So thank you guys so much for watching. Did you guys enjoy this tonight? Anybody here enjoyed the live stream tonight? We had tons of viewers, tons of people engaging, which is awesome. Looks like we had, wow, huge viewership. Somebody says buy, sell, buy high, sell low. Yes, buying the green. I'm sorry, no. Buying the red, selling the green. So that, no, this is wrong, Pill Paxton. Pill, you've been in here for a while, man. Come on. You got to learn. You already know. Somebody says, thanks for the shout out. You'll see lots of me. That is awesome, Hello Kitty. Maybe we'll see you at the Night Owl. Peppy said, thank you. You're very welcome, brother. Thank you, man. Somebody said, join the Discord, join the channel, subscribe, liked it, love it. That's awesome. Good to have you, Hello Kitty. Brett, you are the best, 9. Thanks again for teaching. You're very welcome, Mr. McKelvey. Thank you so much, brother. Take care, Oneness. Take care, Trevor. Take care, Tahoe. Take care, Frank Di Gregorio. Take care, Chad. Take care, Trevor. Good to have you guys. Bye, Soli. Bye, Anani. Love you too. Take care, Justin Cal. Mike, Mark, all you guys. Awesome. Look at Divided Shark. He has that Electronium. I like Electronium, man. Take care, Brett. Bye, Claude. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. DM said, hated it as always. See you tomorrow, Naeem. You know why he hates it? Because the market's down. He's like, man, like I'm going to come back because Naeem knows what he's talking about, but the market's down, so I hate it. That's funny. That's a good pun right there. Cryptology, thank you, brother. Good to have you back on here, man. Buy blow, sell high. That's hilarious. Somebody says, you're the man. You're the man. You guys are the man. Somebody says, okay, buy blow, sell high is now classic. Thank you for the sub, Eduardo. Good to have you, man. Weren't you in our live streams a couple days ago? You just subbed. That's interesting. My name is Jeff. Awesome, man. All right, love you too, Pill. He said I nailed it. I knew that last name. I was like, did I get that right or not? I was wondering. I was like, I probably did get that right. Anani said, we love you. Jeff, you mean, not Anani. Soli said, first one I tuned into. That is awesome. This is 10 times better than Crypto Bobby and Crypto After Dark Crypto News. Really? I appreciate that. They're great too, though. I think they have awesome channels. You know, there's a lot of great YouTubers, but I appreciate that. Snipers out. Go Patriots. Yes. All right, guys. And like always, Leia Sanchez said, the legend. We'll see you on the Night Owl, Leia. Everybody, we're heading over to our Night Owl. I'm going to post the link right now on the chat so you guys can get on that Night Owl. The link is in the description. It's the Discord. We're all going to be under voice 2, by the way. So you can see we have tons. Oh, wow. Look at that. Over 100 people now. So just click user settings, the little gearbox, voice and video, push to talk, and then your shortcut key. That means whatever key you choose here, mine is F10, then you'll be able to click that key and your microphone will turn on. You can talk, whether you're on your mobile phone or if you're on a desktop, a mobile version. There's also the web version. So anybody can get on Discord. It's a free resource. We're all going to head over there after this Night Owl or after this live stream. Man, I need to get a drink of water. All right, we're done. Thank you guys for watching. And like always, snipers out.